Hello, 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 mic check. This is a mic check. We are going live with a mic check, yeah. We're coming to you hot and ready like we're Little Caesars. Are you? Can you say sheesh? I want to learn how to do like an AI voice. Are you ready? I am very excited for the next event. Yeah. Hey, here we go. Let's get weird with it. Let's get weird with it, y'all. Wait, will this work? Let's try it out. Let me see if this works at the same time.
Get ready for We're the Live. Hosted by the philosopher. You know him, you love him.
How was that? How was that? Is anybody there? Shoot, I gotta put the chat. Where's my chat? I can't find it. Okay, there it is. All right, cool. All right, I got the chat pulled up and ready, so I'm not all crazy. Made for a couple of people to roll up in here, and then I'm gonna post it on my Discord as well. I'm gonna gotta find some people real fast. Oh, Perseus is online. All right. I'm getting distracted. Do I dare go into the debate area? I don't think I want to go into the MAGA people right now, but there's some self-promo places that I want to post on. I gotta start marketing more, guys. I want to actually have not just debates. I want to actually have conversations. Oh God, all those people are in there right now doing their MAGA debates. I'm good. Where is the self-promotion? Oh, promote yourself. Yeah, here we go. Black Myth Wukong. All right, so I just gotta grab my copy pasta and then I'm gonna post that in there and we'll be good to go. Let me get back into my announcer movie guy voice. Are you ready? Oh, I got those sound effects too. Give me a sec. I'm getting distracted here, y'all. I'm getting distracted. It's been a long weekend. It's been a great weekend though. It's been a very full, eventful weekend. We'll talk about it. Let me just get this copy pasta. I can't talk and Twitter at the same time. I gotta go to my Twitter and copy paste what I said on there because I think that's fine. Twitter. Is this a Tekken commercial? What the? Okay, all right, Twitter, stop it, Twitter. I'm trying to lock in, Twitter. Don't feed me bullshit. Respectfully. Disrespectfully, actually. I don't like Twitter. I don't like Elon Musk. I don't like X, but I use it. I'll use it because you're a useful tool. Your tool is a useful tool, you useful tool. Respectfully. Disrespectfully. I gotta eventually explain the lore behind respectfully, because no one, I don't think anyone fully understands what the heck I'm doing when I say respectfully half the time. Because why the heck would you? Why would you? The prospector, he'll wanna meet ya. Did I get that right? Hell yeah. All right, cool. Let's get into this, y'all. All righty then. Why did I minimize that? Get out of here. Oh my goodness. How's everybody doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? Let's get this show on the road. Why do I have two chats pulled up? Get out of here. All right. Top of the song. What's going on, everybody? It is a philosopher. I'm sorry, I'm bumping my camera all over the place here for some of you guys, but welcome to Where's the Line? Welcome to my live stream. This is my Sunday live stream. We start around 6:30 every Sunday EST, Eastern Standard Time. On Sundays, we talk about some important topics I'm interested in. In the future, this will become more formatted with more topics and things of that nature. This episode, I do have a longer video. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to get through it. I haven't had a chance to really break it down. I've sat there and watched it and thought about it, but I really enjoyed it. And there were some really technical terms, but I was listening to it while driving like basically 2 hours. So this is a video I want to watch with you guys. So let's go ahead and pause that music, and I want to introduce this video for you. I think it's we've already seen videos from this channel. This is a channel called Rationality Rules. I really love the guy. He's got that British charm, you know. I just love that the accent. But no, actually, he is a really smart person, and he also covers a lot of people too. I've watched his own debates. He seems to, on his own channel, really enjoy breaking down other debates, almost like debate commentary. Right, it's like it's really interesting. But I think he has a degree or he studied a lot, because he actually brings technical terms, and I love the slides that he adds. I think it's going to be useful for both of us to learn from this guy and to continue to learn how to combat these people, to bring it back to ultimately getting Donald Trump out of office, calling out these MAGA people and exposing why these people are crazy. All right, that's why it's important to equip yourself with tools or weapons. When it comes to the brain, knowledge is a weapon. Knowledge is the best weapon. You sharpen that, you learn, you grow. So I'm going to grow, you're going to grow, and we're both going to grow by watching this video here today. So let's pull it up for both of the streams, and we will go ahead and get that on the road here. I'm going to pull it up on my phone as well. I'm going to pull up the chat on my phone because or my stream on my phone. It always helps to have an extra pair of eyes, and as I get more busy and formatted, I think that I'm gonna have to get a dedicated moderator to assist me in just keeping track of like the stream quality at the very least. I want to make sure the quality does not dip from this. Right, I have two cameras now. I have my DSLR, which I love. I have two batteries for it, so when the battery dies, I always have my camera right here. I actually just enjoy this camera better because I can mount onto my monitor and I can just look right at it. I'm not going to do the switching right now because I have two different streams going at the same time. Once TikTok gets up and running, then I'm probably gonna have 3 streams if I can condense that. Whatever. I don't gotta explain everything to y'all. You don't want all the boring details. So you want to get into this episode. And I will, if I have time, do some other bonus stuff, as I'm excited to start covering a little bit more. But let's see if I can get this pulled up. And before we start gaming, there are some trailers, and I do want to watch a little bit of Evo. Evo is happening. I'm sorry to throw that in there a little bit, but there's a big tournament, which also means big trailers for other fighting games and things of that nature. So after we get through this, we're going to go ahead and check that out too. So let me pull up my YouTube stream real fast. I'll go ahead and pull up my own YouTube stream. Why is it so hard to find my goddamn self? Why the heck can't I find myself? God dang. You know what? I'm not going to sweat it. We ain't going to sweat it around here. That's not what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and get this video going. Why am I doing a Southern accent? I don't know. It just happens. I lived in the South for so long. I was really fascinated by like Southern culture. Like not in a I respect them, I want to be like them kind of way, but in a just National Geographic, this is fascinating. But then also I had one of my best friends, like my what is the word for it? My chosen brother, right? I have a blood brother. I I have a blood brother, and then I have my chosen brother, which is my buddy from college days as well. And so he has a strong Southern accent still, but he's the smartest dude I know. So I'm not saying anything bad about all Southern people, but I love the Southern accent. It's almost easier to do than any other accent that I can do at this point. Like even a Jamaican accent that I think is harder to do now because I've not been around Jamaicans anymore in my adult life, that I don't remember how to do it. But I talk to my buddy all the time, and I've been around so many Southern people. So anyways, I digress. I don't want to make it hard for me to edit here. So let's go ahead. Let's check out this video with you. Know what I'm saying, man? So this video is on rationality rules. This is called How to Own an Insult with Class. Christopher Hitchens is a well-known atheist and a debater, and I would consider a philosopher. I'm not sure if he actually holds himself to that title or not, but he talks about a lot of different topics. I believe he is, I don't remember if it's biology or like what his major was in, but I believe he has like a master's or a doctorate in a topic. But anyways, I digress. He's well known. Rationality Rules is going to do a good job of introducing him. So let's go ahead and check out this video together.
When you look at the majesty and sophistication and the
and let me know if the audio quality is not up to par.
Intricacy of the universe that we do know and comprehend. You have to believe that somehow that this energy could have existed on its own, and I do not believe that to me is a leap of faith.
You give me the awful impression, I hate to have to say it, of someone who hasn't read any of the arguments against your position ever.
A confident host mid-recitation of a memorized apologetic, being quietly informed by his guest that he's outmatched. Politely, almost apologetically, quintessentially British.
I hate to have to say it, of someone who hasn't read any of the arguments against your position ever.
It's a hitch slap, and a famous one at that. One that's well worth analysing, because it leaves the host scrambling to scoop up his dignity or having to deflect every follow-up, hoping to regain the ground through repetition.
There is a God.
Well, I guess that settles it then, huh?
Yet, at every step, Christopher is one move ahead, calm as can be, significantly more prepared than the host, and never taking the bait.
You seem to be angry with religion, angry with God. Am I wrong in my perception?
Not with God, obviously, that would be absurd.
Why, hello, my fellow apes. I hope you are well. Today, we're revisiting an old classic that's still making the rounds. It's so old, in fact, that it seems to have been recorded on a potato. In one corner, we have Christopher Hitchens, British-American journalist, author, and one of the so-called four horsemen of New Atheism, and, no doubt, the sharpest tongue of the lot. He built part of his reputation on a very particular move, the calm, surgical, utterly devastating verbal takedown that the internet lovingly christened the hitch slap. Now, I've already covered another instance of Christopher delivering this move to
Wait.
lovingly.
I want to read the slide because he doesn't read it verbatim. I want to check this out. So it says, play this with a fallacy card to instantly debunk the argument and receive all of the applied fallacy cards. Hitch slap. I would challenge you to a battle of wits, but I see you are disarmed. Okay. He's like doing a board game format here. I like that.
The hitch slap. Now, I've already covered another instance of Christopher delivering this move to Harold Kushner, a rabbi. It was epic, and if you haven't seen it, be sure to open it up in another tab for later.
Religion makes morally normal people say and do disgusting and wicked things, and you've just proved my point for me. Shame on you for saying what you just said. Shame on you for saying it about your own son, my God.
But in this case, in the other corner, we have Sean Hannity, Fox News host, conservative broadcaster, and a man who has spent the better part of 2 decades treating I'm just asking questions as a personality.
He's apparently mad that we keep asking questions.
In recent years, he's also been a fervent Trump sycophant.
President Trump, how would you rate his first year?
Phenomenal.
The year is 2007. Hitchens is doing the rounds promoting his newly published book, God Is Not Great, and finds himself on Hannity's America, in what the host has branded the hot seat. And what emerges is a polite, unhurried demolition of a confident broadcaster who walks in expecting to host an interview, score a few points with his audience, and call it a day, but walks out having become a case study.
Bigots in America trying to have pseudoscience taught in our schools.
So it's a battle of wits, and Sean, as you'd expect from a Fox News host, comes in unarmed.
That's a certain intellectual snobbiness, perhaps, on your part. But let me just say this. But religion
that could well be right.
Let's get to it.
And welcome back to Hannity's America. Author and journalist Christopher Hitchens is no stranger to controversy. In this week's Hot Seat, I go head-to-head with him over his brand-new book, God is Not Great.
What a cover. Oh, my God.
You describe yourself as a devout anti-theist, and you're an atheist. Explain.
Right from the start,
Explain.
Look at how this segment is set up. It's called The Hot Seat, and that's not nothing. It's a piece of branding that casts the guest as the one under pressure, the one who has to account for themselves. Christopher is the curious specimen wheeled in for examination. Now, a host asking questions is just what a host does, but the combination of the hot seat plus that one-word prompt,
Explain.
Explain yourself,
sets a particular tone where Sean gets to decide whether today's oddity has accounted for itself adequately. That's the arena Sean wants, and critically, it's the one he's used to. Christopher, however, won't let it stand.
Explain.
Okay, well, an atheist is someone who doesn't believe that there is a God, or at least says that there's no evidence to believe that there is. But such a person might very well say he wished it was true. In fact, I know some atheists who do say, well, I wish I could believe it, I just can't. There's not enough evidence for it. All the evidence is the other way. I see that. I say I'm an anti-theist because I think it would be rather awful if it was true.
Subtle, deft, and unmistakably Christopher Hitchens. He uses the question to seize...
Honestly, I haven't heard that word too often. I want to say that I saw it on a debate with like Matt Dillahunty, where I think he is also an anti-theist, or maybe somebody else on the Atheist Experience is a call-in show that he, I think, helped start long ago. And I would say that I am specifically an anti-Christian to some degree. I don't have an issue with Christians, but I do have issue with Christian establishments that influence people and their lives, right? So it has nothing to do with the individual. I know tons of people that I'm close to that believe in the Christian God, not a big deal. What is a big deal is the people that spread the information, that manipulate people, that let, this gets into like the Catholicism parts of it too, but just any part where they are getting away with something horrible and using their religion to shield them from it, or attacking people and still not getting away for it, but using religion as a justification for the attacking. That happens a lot in America, and I have extreme concerns with the whole memorandum that got released a while back, and the way that they're leveraging certain other religious groups to make it seem like people are being anti-religious in any form or fashion, especially against Christianity now. So that becomes very relevant why this stuff is why I want to talk about it. I think the actual debate substance itself, what is said in the debate, is great, but also the way that Rationality Rules breaks down the debate, I think that is also really amazing. So let's continue.
Control of the definitions for the rest of the conversation. Atheism, he says, is the evidential claim. Anti-theism is the moral one. And by drawing that distinction up front, he gets to choose the more provocative label deliberately, on his own terms, on terrain that plays to his strengths, rather than putting him on the defensive. There's also a subtle inoculation happening here. You see, the standard caricature of the anti-theist, the one that many in Sean's audience have been trained to expect, is someone who wants to take away the ability for religious people to practice their faith. But notice that Christopher's phrasing immediately takes that off the table. He's saying he wouldn't want it to be true, which is a long way from saying that religion shouldn't be allowed. It's a different claim entirely, and it's one that's much harder to demonize. What Christopher needs to do now, however, is explain his view before Sean does it for him.
I say I'm an anti-theist because I think it would be rather awful if it was true. If there was a permanent total, round-the-clock, divine supervision and invigilation of everything you did, you would never have a waking or sleeping moment where you weren't being watched and controlled and supervised by some celestial entity from the moment of conception till, well, not even till your death, because it's only after death that the real fun begins, isn't it? It would be like living in North Korea.
Agree or disagree, Christopher's objection is now present. Simply put, his concern is for human liberty. He's turning theology into a political question about surveillance and submission, and he's doing it, effectively, in the language that Sean's own conservative audience have been primed for decades to recognise as the language of tyranny. Consider the analogy that Christopher reaches for. He skips Stalin, Mao, Hitler, and any abstract Orwellian dystopia, landing, instead, on a regime that was, then, and still is, actively oppressing its people.
It would be like living in North Korea.
Here's a story where you would expect the facts to just speak for themselves. Trump threatens to cut off all US trade with Spain over refusal to use military bases in Iran war. You see, Spain...
Hold on, this is an ad. I always fall for this thing. Give me a second, though. I gotta fix something. My chat is broken. It's not pulling up on here, so let me fix that right quick. Not in my vertical chat. I'm not worried about that one. It's my Twitch chat. Holiday. Okay, it's there. Yeah, so then what's the issue? It would be so. Oh, I think I fixed it. I think I fixed it, y'all. Tarnation. Ah, shoot. I figured it out. Now I've truly figured it out. Now we are good. Now it is all good in the hood. All right, cool. Let's carry on. Yeah, my audio, yeah, everything was all jacked up there. That was weird.
Most people would only ever see one of them. If you want to start seeing the full picture and tyranny at the same time, thanks.
It would be like living in...
Oh, hold on. Gotta take a short break here. And double check my GMs. All right, cool. We'll be okay now.
North Korea.
Yeah, the surveillance and tyranny of North Korea strikes us all as the most cartoonishly authoritarian regime on Earth, one that viewers will immediately recognize. So, in barely no time at all, Christopher has done three things. He's taken the definitions away from the host, he's chosen the more aggressive label deliberately, and he's handed Sean an analogy that any rebuttal has to first dig itself out from under it, which makes Sean's next move all the more revealing. He has three potential threads to pull on: the surveillance critique, the North Korea comparison, or the distinction between atheism and anti-theism. Let's see which one he picks.
It would be like living in North Korea.
To be an atheist, you have to believe that it is possible, which I think is a far greater leap of faith. That's something that can be created out of nothing.
Oh, or not.
Bruh. Oh, let me turn my soundboard back up real quick. Bruh. How's that? That sounds good. All right, let's get back to it. All right.
I guess. Sean didn't listen to a single word, did he? he picks up on precisely none of the available threads, opting instead for a series of red herrings, introducing irrelevant
Wait, I'm curious. Hold on. This is a nerdy thing. Don't worry about it.
material to distract from the argument at hand. To be sure, when a host deflects that hard, none of the available threads, opting instead for a series of red herrings.
Okay, he smacked the mic. That's all. It's not a big deal at all. Like, I'm not hating on it or anything like that. I just, a lot of, as a content creator, as someone who does a lot of live streaming and did a lot of live tournaments and stuff, it's, you sort of have to have the mentality of mistakes are going to happen and more than likely people aren't going to notice it. Doesn't mean you still don't get concerned. So something that I like to do is when I look up to people, I like to see, I don't look for this, but if I catch it, like I just heard, I thought it was me that did it. I thought I bumped my mic, but I was like, I'm nowhere near it. I didn't touch it, right? It would have sounded slightly more clear, right? It sounded like he came from his video. So anyways, that's the context. Nothing to do with my actual live stream. I just had a personal interest there, sorry.
herrings, introducing irrelevant material to distract from the argument at hand. To be sure, when a host deflects that hard, that fast, it usually means one thing, that they didn't have anything to push back against on what was just said. But
let's go back and look at that slide. All right, so we got a red herring. I'm sure we've all heard this term before. Actually, the first time I heard this term was there was a character in Scooby-Doo, a pup named Scooby-Doo. A pup named Scooby-Doo was the first time that I heard this. Actually, you know what? Hold on.
it means one thing, that
Shut
they
up.
didn't.
I'm sorry, rationality rules. Don't shut up. I'll pause. I'm sorry. No, yes, no, I saw something I didn't want to see. All right. So I never understood this as a kid. This is one of those things where as a kid you don't catch this. It's nothing raunchy, nothing dirty. It's just a nice joke for people who understand logic or debates or being framed or like investigations. There's a term called the red herring, right? Oh shoot.
Or not, I guess.
Faith.
Irrelevant.
So a red herring is when someone introduces an unrelated point to distract the original issue. Hold on. Actually, wait. I'm thinking, I gotta think shorts. All right. I'm gonna redo this. And re-explain this real quick so I can have it so I don't have to edit as much. All right. We'll go live. You know the rest. You better know the rest. All right. A red herring is when someone introduces an unrelated point to distract from the original issue. Sure, I lied, but what about the biased media, right? That is when something is just not relevant to the argument. Now, I gotta point this out because as a kid, I did not appreciate this. But growing up, there was a cartoon I watched. I'm a big Scooby-Doo guy. Eventually, they did a spinoff, kind of like Muppets did, of a younger Scooby-Doo and crew. It was called A Pup Named Scooby-Doo. And there was a reoccurring character that I did not understand what the point of that character was. And that character's name was Red Herring. And I want to show you because I think this is cool. I think this is one of those things where it's not raunchy, but it's like a double meaning. And it's something that an adult can appreciate now. So I've never seen these as an adult. It's been like 20 years since I've watched this. So let's watch this together. Every time Freddy, yeah.
The answer to this mystery is obvious. Your bike was stolen by that no-good neighborhood bully and thief, Red Herring. So, like, who is this guy? I know. It's Red Herring. What's the big idea? Admit it, you're the one that scared Scooby. Why else would you be up at 1 in the morning? 'Cause you woke me up, you doofus. Wait, he must have gotten this key from his partner.
Oh my god, dude, I wasn't sure I was gonna react to that, but I don't have time to watch the whole thing. But as you can see, I think that A Pup Named Scooby-Doo is a great analogy for the current administration and their following. I'm sorry if you get mad at this, whatever, but that is exactly what a red herring is. You're blaming something that isn't actually the issue, and you can't stop yourself. And there's a whole compilation of it. It just is a great analogy for what is happening in our world. I wanted to share that with you real quick. Okay, let's get back to the regular video.
Relevant material to distract from the argument at hand. To be sure, when a host deflects that hard, that fast, it usually means one thing, that they didn't have anything to push back against on what was just said. But you know what? Why not? Let's deal with what Sean just gave us, because it's such a common claim still thrown around today.
The truth is, it takes more faith to be an atheist than it does to believe in God. You've really got to ignore the facts.
I don't have enough faith to be an atheist.
I don't have enough faith to be an atheist.
It's a sentence that's wrong in roughly as many ways as it has clauses. First, the word faith,
which I think is a far greater leap of faith.
What he's doing is subtle. It's the old apologetic shuffle with collapsing two different meanings of a word or term into one, an equivocation fallacy. There's faith, as in reasonable trust, the kind you have when you sit on a chair without first auditing its structural integrity. And then there's faith in the religious sense, which the Bible itself defines as the...
Hold on, let's go back. Okay, I was afraid to... I wanted to give it a little bit of extra time before I rewound. A fallacy, equivocation. Okay, so this is a kind of fallacy, equivocation fallacy, when someone uses a word in two different ways within the same argument to mislead. Laws of nature. Laws of nature. Rules of nature. Sorry. Laws of nature. Man-made. Laws change all the time. Man-made laws change all the time. That sounds like something I would hear in an argument. Yeah. I'm trying to think of an example of my own to share with you, because I understand what he's saying, but I also don't feel like this is a very clear for everybody that doesn't already follow debate culture or debate terminology. I can't say that I've studied debate. I have not taken a class in it by any means. I've just experienced a lot of debates, and I've also... I firmly believe that sales is a kind of debate where it is harder than debating, honestly, because it's not only about winning an argument. You're trying to actually get them to spend their money on something and convince them that you're right about that and why they might need that. So when it comes to getting people to understand things, it's important to recognize when they don't, or when they might not understand something, when there's a lack of clarity, that you need to be the bridge there. The challenge that I'm having now is that I don't have a way to articulate fully. So all I can do is really ask you guys at this point is does that make sense to you? Does this fallacy make sense to you? Have you heard of it before? Is this something that is useful to you? Like, whatever your thoughts are, if you think it's stupid, right? I don't care if you disagree. I just care if you have a good enough argument to be an asshole to me about why you're disagreeing with me. Otherwise, yeah, share those thoughts, because I think that this is a really cool topic. And I recognize that there's a better way to explain this for more people. He's focusing on his audience. Nothing wrong with what he's doing, right? I'm just someone who's trying to bridge the gap for other people who would not watch this video, right? For some reason, you're watching my content, and I want to help bridge that gap for you. And I have a weird middle ground where there's a middle ground between politics and competitive video games, because that is literally my life and my job. I am around a lot of different people, and whether you know it or not, a lot of gamers are passionate about social and political issues. So I am in it to win it and talk about it and share that. So you let me know if this is something that I need to do a bigger video on and break down specifically. Otherwise, we're going to move on.
Structural integrity. And then there's faith in the religious sense, which the Bible itself defines as the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That is to say, faith is something used in place of evidence for something you want to be true. Those are, well, quite different, aren't they? One is provisional trust in evidence, the kind that is predicated on evidence and updates the moment better evidence comes in. The other, by its own scripture, doesn't require evidence at all. Pretending that they are the same thing is how you smuggle belief without evidence into a conversation about science and have it sound like humility. Second, the cosmology.
That's something that can be created out of nothing.
This is one of my pet peeves, and when someone says,
I know he's going to say it, but I want to share my take on this too, because I've watched many debates, and I actually participated in a Christian and atheist debate this week. last week. No, this week. Yeah, I joined a debate on TikTok randomly while I was just doing my PT physical therapy exercises. And I hear this something from nothing argument a lot. And it's important to emphasize that this is very common. I don't recall if he actually breaks down his argument, so I will share my thoughts on this more after he finishes talking.
I immediately know that they haven't even looked up the Wikipedia page on the Big Bang Theory, much less considered the topic seriously. The Big Bang does not say that the universe was created out of nothing. It describes the expansion of an extremely hot, dense early state. What came before, or whether before is even a coherent question, is a heavily debated area of physics. We don't know. As theoretical physicist Brian Greene puts it,
the very question may not make as much sense as the words seem to suggest. We know how to parse that sentence. We know what it means to talk about the moment before the Big Bang because we know how to talk about the moment before your birth, or the moment before the Civil War, or the moment before any event that happened in the world. We fully understand the meaning of that kind of sentence. But it could be that when it comes to the Big Bang, the sentence actually doesn't mean anything.
In fact, for what it's worth, in a recent survey conducted by the American Physical Society of over 1,600 respondents, they found that 68% understood the Big Bang as the evolution of the universe from a hot, dense state, not as proof that the universe had an absolute beginning. So,
right, yes. So there is this, is basically the red herring is, or a red herring would be when a theist, a believer, tries to make the argument that if I'm debating them, I believe in a world where the start of time started at the Big Bang, right? And whether or not I believe that or not, it doesn't matter, because I don't believe in the Christian God. Therefore, I must think that this is the only rational solution. So there's a misrepresentation of the Big Bang and evolution and the beginning of quote unquote time or the universe. There's a misrepresentation of the argument, and the total understanding, the consensus understanding of the beginning of the universe is misrepresented in that debate. And also I am forced to believe that that is true, that what he's misrepresenting, right? So not only is he misrepresenting the reality of an argument or a science or a theory, he is saying that I must believe this thing because I don't believe in God, as if there's no other possible world where something else could happen, where it wasn't a God and it wasn't that time existed at the start of the Big Bang, or that somehow just because I do or don't believe the start of the Big Bang happened and blah, 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 that somehow discredits my belief, therefore Christianity is true. There's a weird disconnect that happens, and I hear this so regularly that I don't even find it weird anymore, because it's just so prevalent in these people, where they have to assume what you think and they have to misrepresent what is true about science and our understanding of the world right now.
So yeah, it's a far cry from a settled doctrine that atheists have to swallow, meaning that Sean is confidently mischaracterizing a position he clearly doesn't understand.
What? Where's Will Smith at? Where's Lame at? Where's Cobby Lame? Kebby Lame? That guy. I need that guy right now, because that's what that is a term for what I was saying earlier, where he's misrepresenting your point of view and forcing you into believing that. It happens. You can't, I would pay money to debate a MAGA person that didn't straw man, right? And when I say they don't straw man, I also mean they don't just lie either, you know, but yeah. So here is a straw man. It is a fallacy. It is a kind of fallacy where when someone misrepresents or oversimplifies another person's argument to make it easier to attack. It's so pathetic. It is like one of the most pathetic ways to get debated. And that MAGA guy, Euro trip, whatever, this is his personality. His personality is a straw man. Like, if he were to represent something, anything, it would be the straw man. This guy is a scarecrow. Straw man is a scarecrow, by the way. That's if you didn't get that reference. But yeah, so it's a fake guy putting something up, easy to defend, you knock it back down, versus steel manning is the opposite, where you're actually making their argument, you're clarifying their argument as much as possible so that it's harder to tear down because you built it up so strong. which makes you more respectable when you do tear down their argument. And it's also more fun and satisfying because I always steel man. I try to never straw man. I try to always steel man, and then tear their argument down to the ground like it deserves. You want stricter gun laws, so you want to take away everyone's guns and leave us defenseless? Who's heard that before? Who's heard that before?
The straw man. Third, atheism. Atheism does not commit you to the view that something came from nothing. I mean, seriously, where does this mangled logic come from? One's view of the cosmos is not dependent on whether they're convinced of a god's existence. So we've got 3 mistakes in a single sentence, which means it's already a great illustration of a gish gallop. And yet, he still isn't done.
That's something that can be
gallop.
This one is fun to say, and I think this one is more subjective, but I think it is incredibly important to know about or be aware of. And it is a tactic. It is a stalling tactic is what I would call it. Let's see here. So a gish gallop is when someone rapidly fires off many weak arguments to bury their opponent and avoid real scrutiny. Here's a list of 20 reasons evolution is wrong. Can you just prove them all wrong, all right now? Right? Like, Ben Shapiro is known for doing this. Charlie Kirk is known for doing this. Donald Trump is like the king of doing this, sort of. He's only the king because he always has a power dynamic going on where he can just shut other people down because he's like the little damn president or he's rich as hell. So I don't think he's actually good at it. I think he's just rich at it or spoiled at it. Whereas someone like Charlie Kirk or even Steven Crowder, at least they have to get in front of people and they don't have as big of a power dynamic. They still have the cameras and the editing and the crew and the time and the resources. So it's not a one-to-one, but at least it's not like rich man owning giant buildings where people spend lots of money and then eventually the president, and also many other things that have been bankrupted.
And yet, he still isn't done.
That's something that can be created out of nothing. When you look at the majesty and sophistication and the intricacy of the universe that we do know and comprehend, you have to believe that somehow that this energy could have existed on its own, and I do not believe that to me is a leap of faith.
Yeah, Sean sure is doing us a solid by helping us.
This guy has like black anger where he's like winding up. Like he's trying to warn you with his tone, like you're about to get in some trouble, buddy. You don't want the hands, bro. Like I'm trying to keep it like that's how Christopher Hitchens sounds right now. Like, let's see how it goes.
Let's display all of our beautiful cards. It's fallacy bingo night. If you've spent any time near religious apologetic circles, and especially the creationist ones, you'll have heard this monologue 100 times. Look at the majesty, look at the intricacy, the butterflies, the trees. You really think that this just happened?
Behold, the atheist's nightmare. God has placed a tab at the top. When you pull the tab, the contents don't squirt in your face.
What do you mean by that?
Just the right shape for the human mouth.
At its core, it's an appeal to incredulity. Sean can't imagine how a universe like ours could exist.
All right, so this is another fallacy. He throws a lot of them at you, and this is what I was saying where like I wanted to actually sit down and read these because these are kind of cool slides. I like these. I want to be able to revisit them. I want to learn more, and I want to share that knowledge with you. Share that knowledge with you. New word. All right, so fallacy, personal incredulity. Personal incredulity. That sounds weird. Personal incredulity. He has an accent, so I don't exactly understand how he's saying it, but I know this word. I've heard it tons of times, but it feels weird saying it. I've never actually said it. I've just heard it a lot in debates and stuff because there's a lot of incredulity. Incredulity is what we're going to say for now. Personal incredulity. When someone dismisses something because they either don't understand it or choose to ignore it. Incredibly regular. Let's read the example. The pyramids are so perfectly aligned that humans could not have built them. Right? Basically saying that I can't see any possible other way this could be true unless this. Right? And it's basically an appeal from ignorance, in my opinion. where they are saying, because I can't think of a possibility, this is the only reality that must be true. And it's like it's very much a self-centered way of thinking, in my opinion. Like you're so focused on yourself that you think that your ignorance is a justification to just make up reality. All right.
Without a designer, and mistakes that failure of imagination for evidence of a designer. And notice that the reason that Sean finds the idea incredible isn't that he's engaged with the evidence and found it wanting, it's because he isn't interested in engaging with the evidence in the first place. Remember, even in 2007, the world's largest Christian denominations already accepted evolution by natural selection. It was a mainstream position. We already understood fully how intricate and sophisticated organisms emerge without a designer. So
yeah, this is something that actually is weird to me. I never noticed until recently that growing up, evolution was just widely accepted by everybody. I never heard an evolution denier growing up, which is weird that I'm hearing it now. It's like the flat earth thing, in my opinion, but even more equally concerning. They're both equally concerning because you can... I think they're both stupid, okay? I think that they're both stupid, and I don't understand how we have a vast amount of information and somehow people are still finding ways to doubt just things that would be very hard to lie about like that. Makes no sense to me.
So underneath the incredulity sits an appeal to ignorance. The reasoning is essentially, if atheists...
I said that earlier.
Atheists can't currently explain every aspect of cosmos origins, then God must be the answer. What this all culminates in is a quiet shift of the burden of proof. Rather than demonstrating that a creator exists, Sean assumes one from the outset and demands that everyone else explain reality without it. The creator he created gets a free pass, while every competing explanation is expected to provide a complete account of the universe before it's even allowed in the conversation. The same structure of reasoning has been used repeatedly throughout history. We didn't know how species arose, therefore God. We didn't know what caused lightning, therefore God. We didn't know why planets move the way that they did, therefore God. Every time we followed that logic, we've learned something about the limits of human knowledge.
Therefore God.
We've learned about betting on that wrong horse. This is a lesson that Sean simply will not and still hasn't processed. So the density of mistakes, the gish gallop that he's packed into a single breath is almost impressive, I'm sure you'll agree. Equivocation on faith, a misstatement of cosmology, a misstatement of atheism, an appeal to incredulity, an appeal to ignorance, and an implicit shifting of the burden of proof. Most debaters would grab one thread and start pulling. Christopher does something else entirely.
You have to believe that somehow that this energy could have existed on its own, and I do not believe that to me is a leap of faith.
You give me the awful impression, I hate to have to say it, of someone who hasn't read any of the arguments against your position ever.
Yup, that is the hitch slap. Rather than picking a thread, he goes one level up and attacks the posture. It's a targeted claim about the arguer's preparation, anchored directly to the argument he just made, with none of the crudeness of a slur or a dismissal. And the brilliance of it is that the evidence for the charge is everything that Sean just said.
I hate to have to say it.
And listen to that delivery. It's quiet, unsneering, the mild-mannered guest reluctantly informing the host that the host has just embarrassed himself. The regret is what makes it lethal. A hostile attack you can swap away as rudeness, right? But a polite, almost apologetic diagnosis from a man who clearly does not enjoy delivering it, that sticks.
See, now this is something that I love and I totally agree with, and I think it's always better to kill people. Well, okay, I think it is a great tactic to kill them with kindness, right? When you're talking to somebody, and a lot of people say, like, why? They don't understand how I can stay so calm, and I don't feel like I'm that calm. I think I could be more calm. I choose how I want to be, right? But one of the reasons why I am as calm as I am during a lot of debates is because I get pleasure from knowing that I am not letting them control my emotions, and they are getting torn down by somebody who is still very calm but still systematically attacking what they're saying. rather than just the character that they have, but isn't afraid to like, I'm not going to necessarily say I'm going to sling mud per se, but I'm not afraid to throw back an insult or something along those lines, but I'm going to keep most of my points to what I'm actually saying. And when I choose to get mad, that is on me, but it's not on them. It's not, they don't control that. I choose my own emotions, and I get pleasure from seeing other people try to accuse me of being emotional while I'm sitting here being very calm, and they're the ones like literally freaking out and trying to convince an audience that that's the case. Even without an audience, it is great to me, but with an audience, it is very enjoyable to just internally be laughing the whole time at how stupid and pathetic some of these people are. And when I'm talking to you like this, I want to make it abundantly clear, specifically for Trump supporters, not just people in general, because I think disagreeing is an important, necessary thing that we have to always have. I think discourse and debate are mandatory for growth and accountability and a lot of many things. But MAGA, y'all are crazy and dangerous and are doing like terrible things. People who are still MAGA now, I'm sorry, you guys don't live in a reality where it's safe to be around you. You support something that is incredibly dangerous and incredibly violent. It is nothing against anybody personally, but you are doing the same thing, and you would do the same thing in our shoes, and you have done the same thing, and you've shown that same thing many, many years throughout history. Even on this live stream, when we talk about things like Little Rock or the Ezekiel video, where the high school students or the future high school students were sharing their thoughts on integration and how the white people were behaving the whole entire time. You know, we talked about things like the Greenbrier Institute, right? The Black Wall Street massacre, where a successful, thriving Black city was doing great, but because we lived in a world where Black people weren't equal, the accountability and the fairness and the investigation led to that entire time, like the entire city being burnt down, from the start of one kid being accused of doing something in an elevator that was a circumstance created by their own doing, right? If you don't understand the context, a Black shoe shiner was working for, you know, some white business owner in the city. And because he can't use the same bathroom, he has to go down the street and up an elevator up to a building to use their facilities. So this guy had to walk all the way down the street, go up a building, go into the elevator, and some girl in the elevator accused him of doing something, right? And that one event led to the destruction of an entire city. There's a whole story. I'm not going to talk about it all right now. But my point is that these types of people who are trying to block other people from just living an equal life to them without them interfering on their life, this is happening in 2026 with a leader that is actively attacking other countries pretty much unprovoked and stealing from them and doing terrible things, right? I am sorry, MAGA. Y'all are the enemy. I'm not a violent person. I don't believe in violence, so I don't ever wish that on people or perform that on people, right? But I see reality for what it is, and I've lived in areas where it's not safe to not defend yourself, right? I've learned how to defend myself because I've been bullied and people have tried to fight me and people have tried to attack me throughout my life. So I understand danger when I see it. I understand a threat when I see it, and I stay away from y'all for the most possible because y'all are insane and dangerous. Because I'm an American, I try to respect your freedom, but what you're saying and what you support, it ain't it. It ain't it, Chief. It ain't Chief. It ain't it. It ain't it. And I think it's really important for all of us who aren't MAGA, who are American, and even hopefully people from across the country or across the world, understand this and express this in a safe way, in a productive way, just to get the voice out there, to show the consensus, because Trump is somebody who likes to lie about numbers a lot. And that's a dangerous person. When they're willing to publicly lie about numbers, let alone, I mean, there's many things, but numbers is a broad ass topic. And you can think of many topics where that could be relevant. And it's scary, right? how he talks about people, how he talks about countries, how he talks about ethnicities without actually saying what he's saying, the dog whistles, the many things, the many canaries in the coal mine that many MAGA people could have learned from and left. Even you got Tyler Green, Taylor Green, John Jonah Smith out of here hiding from the country, fleeing the country. Marjorie Taylor Greene fleeing the country and leaving MAGA and calling out Trump. Like, even that crazy, unstable person is doing this, right? So it's very possible a lot of people are misled and now they're stuck because there are some people who are so petty or so small-minded or so stupid that they have to just force themselves to believe the same thing because they don't want to admit they're wrong. Y'all are horrible people, and I'm going to make it abundantly clear that people that support Trump, that voted for Trump, that still are okay with what he's doing, y'all are irresponsible, dumbass, immature, horrible fucking human beings. And I don't know how to make that more clear. I don't believe in violence. I don't believe in myself enacting any of that, but that doesn't seem to be the case for MAGA, and they seem to justify it all the time. January 6th. I'm sorry, violence was had by your people, whether you want to admit it or not. It was had. It just was. By y'all. It wasn't Antifa plants or the FBI or whatever you want to say it was. You just have an accountability issue. And that's dangerous when you're willing to commit violent crimes and you have an accountability issue and you're also entitled because you think you deserve something because you're a mediocre white person. Y'all got to get over yourself because you're dangerous. You're dangerous. Not me. Not Antifa, not many of these liberals out here and Democrats. That doesn't mean that I don't have criticisms and very valid ones to give. But when there's a fire in the building, I'm not going to worry about a leak on the sink. I'm sorry. Y'all are the danger. MAGA, Trump. I don't know how many times I got to say that.
That's the one you replay in your head at 3 in the morning. This leaves Sean in quite the predicament, since every response and argument he makes from this point forward has to climb out from under that slab. In just a few words, the question is no longer, is the argument right? It's, is the man making the argument even equipped to make it?
You give me the awful impression, I hate to have to say it, of someone who hasn't read any of the arguments against your position ever.
I've read all the arguments.
Oh boy, that is perhaps the worst possible answer he could have given. He reflexively self-certifies. He gives a flat assertion that he's done the reading, all of it, every argument, every counter-argument.
I'm too smart to read. I'm not going to sit there and go, smart people read. No.
Yet he won't go on to provide an exhibit, an example, or even a, well, here's the standard reply to the dis-teleological argument, and here's why I find it wanting.
I've read all the arguments.
I've actually never read.
Which means that Christopher's diagnosis is completely intact.
Listen, this guy is incredibly smart and well-spoken. Rationality ruled guy, but I don't know if it's him or he pays somebody, but the editing of these videos are hilarious. You know, obviously those aren't, they're cuts, so that's not actually how they're saying. The context is removed and it's a little bit edited, but that's for comedic effect. I can see that, right? I don't believe, I've watched enough Charlie Kirk to know that that's not what he would have said. All right. I'm just saying it's funny. I think it's funny. I don't think it's like the same thing as what MAGA is doing or anything like that, but hey, you share your thoughts on that.
In fact, the denial reinforces it, because anyone watching who knows even a little bit about the topics that Sean just stomped through, cosmology, atheism, Christian theology, basic logic, can see the problem immediately. His confidence is the thing making the ignorance louder. And there's a broader lesson here. Confidence is not evidence of competence. In fact, when confidence and error travel together, they tend to amplify one another. The more certain that Sean sounds, the harder it becomes to ignore the mistakes that he's just made. Now, this has a name that you've probably heard before, the Dunning-Kruger effect. But let's be careful, because the meme version of Dunning-Kruger gets it subtly wrong.
Wait, Dunning-Kruger effect, competence, valley of despair, peak of Mount Stupid, slope of enlightenment, plateau of sustainability. Robert Ferrero art. Who's that?
The finding isn't stupid people think they're geniuses. It's something more interesting. The skills you need to be good at something are the very same skills that you need to judge how good you are at it. Miss the first, and you necessarily lack the second. The novice isn't lying about their ability, they genuinely cannot see the gap. Now, in fairness to the psychologists, Dunning-Kruger describes a pattern across populations. You can't diagnose one man from one soundbite. And for all we know, Sean is simply bluffing.
I've read all the arguments.
But whether he's a genuine case or merely indistinguishable from one, his answer is a perfect illustration of the mechanism. He doesn't know enough about cosmology to know that his cosmology is mangled. He doesn't know enough about theology to know that his theology is thin. So when challenged, no flicker of doubt is even available to him, because the ignorance that produced the errors is the same ignorance that conceals them.
Basically, what he's saying is you don't know what you don't know, okay? But you think you know what you don't know. But you think you don't know nothing because you think you know everything. That's what it's saying. Yeah, makes sense to me. How about you? Y'all believe that? Y'all agree? Y'all agree with that assessment? Oh. I don't know why I'm doing the Southern accent tonight. But does that make sense though? You don't know what you don't know. This is something that we talk about a lot in fighting games. There's a curve of learning where it's like you don't know what you know what you don't know, you know what you know, then you don't know what you know, which is mastery, because you've hit a point where it is no longer a logical thing and it's purely like a physiological thing, and you just do it because you've done it for so long, it just happens. And there's not always a logic to it because it's just an instinct at this point. The part of thinking and logicifying things, the part of the brain that logifies for you is no longer being used because your body knows what to do. You get it? Makes sense? Awesome. Let's continue with the video.
Read all the arguments.
I don't see how you can be saying this.
Actually, for a second here, this is anybody who ever says they read all the anything. One is possibly Donald Trump, and two is so arrogant they don't see their own idiocy by just saying that. I'm sorry. There is a sense of humility that comes from people who actually care about being true and honest and correct about what they're saying, not being right, not winning a goddamn debate, actually caring about truth and what's right and honesty.
Let's pause on this for a second, because it's easy to miss what Christopher is choosing not to do. He could absolutely call bullshit here. He could say that there's no chance that you've read the responses to your own argument, because if you had, you wouldn't have made 4 undergraduate level mistakes in a single breath. That option is fully on the table, and rest assured, if there's anyone who could deliver it, it's Christopher Hitchens. Recall from our previous Hitch Slap video, we've already seen exactly what this version of him sounds like.
Shame on you for saying what you just said. Shame on you for saying it about your own son, my God.
Yet here, he doesn't take it. He stays polite. And that's a deliberate choice that will pay off shortly.
I don't see how you can be saying this when you look. You want your God to take responsibility for the huge number of collapsing stars and imploding galaxies and destroyed universes and failed solar systems that have left us in this tiny corner on the one planet in this petty solar system that can support life some of the time on some of its surface. And you want a creator who's filled this Earth with species since life began, 99% of which are now extinct already. And this is some design, isn't it?
Now comes the substance. Having established that Sean hasn't read the arguments against his own position, Christopher proceeds to give him one, and not an obscure one at all. The dysteleological argument. In English, the argument from poor design. David Hume put a version of it in print nearly 2.5 centuries ago, an argument so dangerous, in fact, that he only dared publish it from beyond the grave, asking why an omnipotent designer would produce a world so full of, in his words, vice and misery and disorder. It's been foundational.
We gotta stop there for just a moment, because the first time I heard this, the first time I heard about this, I had not known this. So I want to take a moment here to look at this, and perhaps we may look into this in the future. But it says the effects could be so full of vice and misery, the disorder as it appears in life.
His words, vice and misery and disorder. It's been foundational to philosophy of religion ever since. It's why misery and...
Yeah, so the fact that this guy had legitimate critiques about religion and belief, but waited until he died to publish them is wild, right? Like, he felt so strongly about it that he had to share it with the public, but he wanted to do it when he probably wasn't going to get persecuted for doing it, because he would have gotten murdered. And it wouldn't have been illegal murder. It would have been legal murder just because of what he said. Oh, that makes it right, I suppose, because it would have been legal within his world to just criticize something that should be able to be criticized. I digress. Let's move on.
Disorder. It's been foundational to philosophy of religion ever since. If you've spent any time at all reading the responses to the design argument that Sean just leaned on, this is one of the very first things that you would encounter. Digest the rhetorical construction too. Christopher isn't reciting Hume. Rather, he's painting a picture, taking the abstraction and consecrating it into things that you can actually picture. Collapsing stars, imploding galaxies, a petty solar system, life clinging to some of the surface on one planet some of the time, 99.9% of all species that have ever lived extinct. And what's intriguing, at least for me, is the scale that he picks. He could have gone smaller and crueler, a child dying of a disease that evolution never bothered to fix, in the arms of a mother whose prayers changed nothing. That version is potent, and it's...
I want to say real quick that I believe that is a smart way to go the route that Christopher Hitchens did. I think it is a risky one because you risk not... A lot of people who are religious don't really understand anything outside of Earth, honestly, and sometimes on purpose. So I personally like that because it shows extreme waste and inefficiency and imperfection in order to justify a perfect God, right? For Christians, and again, I'm not using my own words. I'm using words that I've heard from debates and I've debated from people personally, is that God is a omnipotent, omnipowerful, omnibenevolent God, like all knowing, all powerful, all loving God. Like sometimes all of those qualities, sometimes one or two of those qualities, right? But all powerful and perfect, right? Those are terms that they tend to use for the Christian God. And the thing is that Christopher Hitchens is right. We live in one galaxy of an infinite, many number of other galaxies that have many other solar systems inside of it. We live in one solar system that lives inside of a galaxy that lives inside of the universe that is ever expanding as far as we know it for right now, right? As far as I understand, the current science is that we're still expanding, the slowing down. I think that opinion has fluctuated some, but we know that there are other planets that exist. We know that there are other stars that exist. We know that there are both of those things and more that have exist and have blown up and have gone and have collapsed. And there's black holes and there's dangerous things and there's like the quasars and there's tons of things out there that have nothing to do with our universe as far as we are aware and don't interact with us in any capacity. And who knows if there was at one point life. Maybe there was a life with other Christians on there some point, right? Like if we were to assume Christianity is true, maybe humans weren't the first living sentient beings or whatever the heck that God had. Why would he tell you if he did? I mean, he has angels. I guess he had to have made the angels at some point. I mean, that is... Anyway, I digress. My point is that there is extreme waste, and that means that God is inefficient, and it is... I think it is a contradiction to be inefficient and perfect at the same time. You have to make one of the appeals or one of the fallacies before. And again, the thing is that a lot of atheists, myself included, try to emphasize is that Christians act like Christianity is the default reality, right? That is what I have learned. Christians in power act, and in general, but the more important ones are the ones in power. But Christians in power act like Christianity is the default state, and it is everyone else's job to disprove Christianity. And they're so entitled, they don't see an issue with what I just said. They think that that is the right way to think, right? A Christian that is super devout, it would think that I am correct, that Christianity is the default religion, and what's the big deal, right? And then they just check out. That's it. They're done. But the thing is, if you are a Christian and you don't see an issue with what I just said, that is literally the problem. And I don't know how to help you understand that the world works differently for different people. And just like how people who are black are not trying to make you be black, people who are gay are not trying to make you be gay. They're just trying, and we're just trying as a black man to just live our own lives without you impeding it in any form or fashion. And the thing is that people vote and choose and perform acts and say things based off of their religious beliefs. And when you're taking action, that means voting. That means getting into positions of power and making amendments and constitutional changes and laws and bills and yada, yada that affect people that aren't like them. And because they think that Christianity is the default reality and other people have the obligation to prove them wrong, they spend their whole lives and their whole generations acting through that way and not ever understanding what atrocities they're actually committing and how much they're limiting people and how much they are taking away our freedoms and feeling self-righteous about it as they do it because they think they have God on their side. If you don't see an issue with that, I would love for you to reach out to me and talk to me so that we can further explore this in a way that is hopefully productive.
It's devastating, but it invites the standard theodicies, you know, mysterious ways, free will, soul building. By staying cosmic, Christopher makes a charge that there's no him for. A dead child makes the designer look cruel, and cruelty, the apologists have, let's say, very poor arguments for. A wasted universe, however, makes the design look incompetent, and incompetence, they don't. And then, the characteristically British dry punchline.
This is some design, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a designer who, if he turned in his blueprint at an architecture firm, would be fired on the spot.
This is some design, isn't it?
Well,
but you didn't say that. You said you were a believer. You didn't say you
I am
were
a believer.
Now, this is an important distinction that Christopher often insisted on emphasizing. Believer and theist are not interchangeable labels you can swap in and out without doing any work. Believer in what exactly? Because the gap between deism, some impersonal first cause that wound a watch and walked away, and theism, a personal god who hears prayers, judges souls, and cares about your sex life, is enormous. And the arguments that Sean has been making about cosmic design and first causes gets you at best to the deist god. It does not get you within 1,000 miles of the God of the Bible.
This is the other thing that really bothers me about Christians that I've debated and I've watched on debates, is that they give me a second to think. I kind of lost it here. Hold on.
Arguments that Sean has been making about cosmic design.
I remember now. Okay. A lot of times debates with Christians get into cosmology or space or the Big Bang and evolution. And why do I keep forgetting what I was going to say?
Your sex life is enormous. And
but the thing is that none of these arguments get you any closer to the Christian God. And it's really weird watching, like, specifically Christians, not just like, you know, people who believe in a higher power, something a little bit more metaphysical or new age, perhaps not like a tangible God, maybe something closer to Futurama's God that Bender met in one of the earlier seasons, right? Like, if I were to believe a God, that's what I would believe is like, it's not some sort of actual physical, tangible being. It's more of like everything in existence is part of that same living thing, and all of existence is that entity experiencing it in various ways. So human beings would be one form of experiencing consciousness for the entire universe, and like it experiences it through us. But that's like, it means nothing. I can't live my life off of any principles or anything. It's just like, oh, if that's possible, okay, that makes sense. It doesn't make sense, blah, 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 blah. Like, explore it, talk about it. It's kind of cool, it's fascinating, but there's no argument to be had there because I'm not attached to it emotionally, and I don't necessarily believe it to be true. It's just, I can see that happening, right? So with these people, you have a book that was written at a specific time frame that we don't fully know, and has a story based on Earth in a specific time frames. Some of it's made up, some of it takes place during actual reality, but it as a whole cohesive book, it doesn't actually make. It's not that it doesn't make sense. It's not cohesive. It's not true. There's many things that contradict itself in the same books. Some of the different people, like Michael and John, contradict each other. It's just a poorly written book in a lot of ways in terms of it. In terms of considering an actual religious text, it's not a well-written religious text. It is very fascinating as a case study for what it is and what it offers individually, but it's not. The arguments that are made by stuff like talking about stars that a lot of these people want to do just does not, it turns into the whole red herring Big Bang Theory start of time. That's all it does. And then that literally happens, and it gets away from like, how do you prove, like, but you're a Christian. Why are you arguing all of this? Try to prove your Christian God right, instead of, I'm willing to grant that there is a God, but you have a specific God that you're talking about. You're not advocating for all gods. So don't try to act like you're advocating for all theists when you're only advocating for, when you only believe in your own deity, right? Christians love to do this, and it's so it's just stupid. Like, would I say that to someone I'm debating? Not unless they're an extreme asshole, no. But it is a stupid, weak argument that, like, at this point, anybody debating Christianity, if you've taken that time, you should already know this argument 4 ways from Saturday, and it doesn't get you any closer to Christianity. It just makes you look stupid. So I don't get why people still do it, and I don't really have a respect for those people unless this is like their first debate or something like that. Like, if you've never debated before and you're just a normal Christian that's lived your life, that's different. I'm not talking about those kinds of people, because they wouldn't be looking for that alternative point of view with religion.
Arguments that Sean has been making about cosmic design and first causes gets you at best to the deist God. It does not get you within 1,000 miles of the God of the Bible. So Christopher is forcing a choice. And look at the price of each. If Sean settles for deism, his first cause arguments merely buy him a God that nobody worships. No prayers heard.
Let's take a look at this one, and then we're going to wrap up here. The tactic is called a double bind. I've heard this term a lot. When someone traps another between 2 irreconcilable choices, making each response carry consequences. Are you lying now, or were you lying before? I don't realize, I didn't know it was called a double bind. I think I do that a lot, and I don't do it on purpose. It's just, I see it. It's like, I mean, this is a great example. It's a very generic question, but are you lying now, or were you lying then? I can't tell you. I mean, oh my God, dude, like, my childhood debating my like family. I think I win debates a lot and arguments with my family back in the day because I'm honest. When it comes to reality, like, was I a liar sometimes? For sure, to get myself out of trouble and things like that. But in a debate, it was sort of like a different thing. It wasn't something that you lie about for the most part, right? Like, now as a youngster, there's definitely, like, I tended to only argue about topics that were grounded in reality, not like my own personal feelings on things per se. And what happens is that people care more about winning than being right or being honest or true. And what ends up happening is, if you're talking to someone who's a liar, you're going to catch them if you're paying attention. I'm just hardwired that way for whatever reason. And so what I do is I just remember what they say. And then eventually, if they lie, you do that. And, like, you don't have to always present it that way, because if you ask it that blatantly, it's not going to go over well, because now you're accusing them of lying, which they can take as disrespect and use that as an excuse to throw an ad hominem, or to throw a tantrum, or to stall or delay, or to walk away, or whatever it may be. So this is an example to make it very clear about what a double bind is, but this is not how you would want to articulate it in most situations, in my opinion, right? That's a little criticism, not of him, but just of people who might think that this is a good way to ask somebody a question because it feels good. Like, this is a gotcha question that you would use to make a clip, but it's not a question you would actually ask if you cared about being honest, in my opinion. Let me rephrase that. If you cared about getting the other person to be honest, I don't think you care. I think you care about appearing more honest and being more honest, rather than actually trying to get the other person to be honest, which sometimes I get that. I'm not hating on that. I'm just saying, if you come across a situation talking to a loved one, don't say it this way. Find a better way to say it. And unless you got that kind of relationship, then do it. Yeah. I would ask my mom that kind of question, because I would call her out right to her face, because we kind of have that confrontational relationship where we just get it out, right? We do that. But we're going to get heated doing that. I don't think that's the most productive way, but some people just communicate that way. I think both my mom and I have kind of accepted that we get heated sometimes, and that's okay. And we just walk, like, certain lines you don't cross. But anyway, a double bind is a great way. I think that you don't ever want to try to do this. Let me share a thought here. Let me think. Let me simmer. Let me simmer and ponder, postulate the possibilities, if you will. Shout out to Smug. Let's take a second here to consider, because I'll cut this part out and I want to have a good conclusion to this. When it comes to stuff like the double bind, as I learn more about debating and the specific tactics and fallacies and concepts, arguments, I have learned that I have on my own figured out how to do some of those things. I don't do them to win an argument. I only did them because I had curiosity and confusion and wanted clarity. When it comes to the are you lying now or were you lying before, a lot of times for me, it's like, well, earlier you said this, so I'm confused now because now you're saying this. So are you like, did I misunderstand what you're saying? Or are you saying that this now, like you're going to have to circle that square for me because I'm not understanding you. Like, I'm not accusing them of lying, but you said that. Most of my debates have been like off stream or off camera, so I haven't like experienced too many of those on camera for chat to like, I don't pay attention to the chat even when a debate has happened on stream. So I think it messes, like I just never have done it. Maybe like for a quick second just to scan, but I try to stay in the moment with the person. And so what I want to recommend, what I think is a good way to do things like double bind is just to pay attention. Be curious. Turn off your judgment. Turn off your I'm right and you're wrong. And just turn on the listening as much as possible. And don't look to be right. I promise you, if you are in fact correct about something and you're being truthful and honest and you're paying attention to what they're saying and they're lying or they're wrong, especially if they're lying, you will expose them through genuine curiosity and genuine listening. That might take some skills and training, but a double bind happens only because somebody else put themselves in that position. In my opinion, I only give people enough rope to let them hang themselves. I don't ever try to attack them. I've literally made people mad, and I've literally exposed their hypocrisy simply by asking a question. And in fact, if I can find it for you, if I can find this for you, I will show you right now a great example that we can all watch together. So let me go ahead and try to look for that real quick. I'm gonna look for the clip on my computer. It's one that I recorded a while back and I haven't had a chance to go through. And then I was threatened with legal issues, which I found out that they can't do anything about it because it was already streamed. Like the conversation was streamed. So I have my own recording of it, but it was live broadcasted and put on YouTube. And you're in a different state, and we were in a public chat that anyone could have joined, and you consented to the live stream broadcast, which also means that it gets recorded. So long story short, there's no legal threat of me being attacked. But I just haven't edited it's a long video, so I haven't sat down and edited it yet. But it's in my series of Infiltrating MAGA, where I infiltrated a Discord. And I didn't pretend to be like a conservative or anything like that, but I'm an independent, so I said I was an independent, and they made their own assumptions one way or the other. Let me see here. How do I find out how long it is without actually clicking on the video? 1 minute and 14 seconds. I know, it's crazy. No, that's not it. I think there's an argument that could be made for self-defense. Personally, are supposed to. I think like without you prioritize. I like myself with a smaller beard. I'm gonna trim down my beard. I want to trim down the sides at least. I don't like how much it is, and it's also hard to maintain. Random thought.
You're making a lame argument and trying to reassign with something.
So that's the fallout of it.
But still to some extent.
Because you honestly, OVS.
Fact. Dude, I was sitting there for so long.
Peaceful
being detained
to the police.
Oh, I was just going to say that I think that same point applies to this situation. I don't see a gun being pulled, and we don't have to use
the gentrification of criminals. Petty crime, you're safe. Like, okay, you can steal.
So, getting back to the
a fucking
focuses you on certain things, and it takes away from right to have anything worse. Back, I have a hard time.
Holding a bomb sandwich too while doing this.
Doing his constitutional duties. At this point, you broke the law and should be detained.
And multiple
fake,
and all the video.
Golly, hold on, I'm trying to find this.
The chat are really something.
Hold on,
You're gonna carry a gun to protect yourself. Want to hop on this one?
One at a time, y'all.
Yeah, let Don go. He's the other centrist. So they're generally more.
Oh yeah, okay.
The Kyle Rittenhouse statement is bullshit.
There we go. Are supposed to behave, because from my perspective, without knowing you guys, I'm assuming here. All right, so I don't think I was on camera for them. I think I was just recording for myself. I don't think I ended up grabbing anything like that. So let me pull this up for y'all. So this is a very long debate. It like we're already an hour in, like 58 minutes and 52 seconds in. So it's a longer one, and there was a lot of like banter and just conversations having, but then eventually like somebody else joined, and this guy was an asshole. And up until this point, like, so I don't have any extra like conversations off of this, but this is where I start talking about this topic, and I want you to see this. I've shared this example a couple of times, but I want to show you in real time what I experienced and how this person, rather than engaging with anything that I asked or said, which I didn't say much, how he interpreted that, and we'll break that down. But when it comes to who is doing what, you know, I'm kind of projecting what other conservatives have said onto you guys a little bit here. So I clearly articulated what I'm feeling about, you know, projecting, right? Like I'm letting them know that I'm assuming so that they can clarify anything that they disagree with. So I'm just going to be fully honest on that. And you push back where you disagree. But I feel invite him to disagree. A lot of situations that we can. I invite him to disagree where he disagrees, right? I am not saying anything antagonistic. Let's make this clear so y'all can see how hard I try to be non-confrontational. Where the tables are reversed. And what I would like to ask is not so much how you feel now, but how, just if you can recall, the two instances that come to mind right now are, I don't remember her name, but how did you guys react when the person at January 6th got shot? Yeah. And then, but just to the best of your ability, try to answer that one. And then Kyle Rittenhouse is like, how did you guys react back then? And just like genuinely, honestly, how you felt about that. So what did I say? What statement did I say? There was no statement. I only asked, how did you feel in the moment? Right? So that we can have an honest conversation, a philosophical conversation about maybe they would reflect on their feelings. This is what happens instead.
Wait, oh my god, I want to hop on this one.
Pause. One at a time, y'all.
Yeah, let Don go. He's the other centrist, so they're generally more closely aligned.
The Kyle Rittenhouse statement is bullshit. There were people chasing him with a gun. There were people trying to harm him. He never tried to harm anyone. No, it does not.
Notice my reaction. At most, confusion. Processing. No anger. No hostility. Listen to the other guy. That statement was bullshit. Which statement was bullshit again, buddy? Which statement was bullshit? I don't remember which one that was. So you can quickly see how easy, instead of actually trying to engage in a smart conversation with his words and logic, he proceeds to tell me that my statement was bullshit when I thought I asked a question. Maybe I didn't ask a question. Maybe I'm just crazy. No, hold on. Yeah, so the conversation doesn't get productive. I think that I chose a thread that wasn't worth it, and it just got boring for me. And they started talking about guns We had a long, like 20-minute conversation about specific guns, and I used all fully automatic instead of semi-automatic because I just forgot, my brain turned off. And they took that opportunity to talk about automatic and semi-automatic rifles and the difference between the guns, rather than actually having a conversation about how the fuck they felt about the situation, like I had asked them in the first place. And then they tried to flip it on me and ask me how I felt before they ever actually answered it, because it somehow was necessary that I answered that question first, when it really wasn't necessary. And then I answered that, and then we got back on talking about guns or some bullshit. So it was like, it became very stupid because these people are stupid. And I'm sorry, there's no respect that I need to have for these human beings because they can't actually act or react or interact with reality. They have to lie, they have to strawman, they have to red herring. They can't be real, rational human beings, and that's dangerous. Y'all are dangerous. That said, hopefully this video has been entertaining for you guys. Make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, you like, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell. If there's a hype button on this, please hit that so we can spread the word and I can get more people on the show to talk to and to get more awareness to help and continue my pursuit in the world of politics. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. For people in the live stream, we're not done. We got some Resident Evil coming up, but I got a couple of videos I gotta watch too. I need more water. My throat is sore. I also did some work this week, and I had a great event that I need to talk about in just a little bit as well. I'm gonna try to find some pictures for you guys. I'm excited, so don't go nowhere, okay? We're gonna be back with some more Philosopher live streaming here. We're gonna get in some gaming, Resident Evil 0. We got some Evo footage to watch. We got some trailers to watch. We've got some fun to have. So I'll be back, gonna get some water, go say goodnight to the family, and be right back. See you in just a little bit. a checky, a chickity check, chuckity chook, chuck a cheggy. That one's too long. Okay, I'm grabbing a couple of videos to watch real fast before I get into my gaming. Yeah. Yeah. Woo. Sorry. Ah, okay, that's the other one. All right, cool. Shoot. All right. Show you right. Let's hang out. Actually, wait. I gotta fix some shit. Dang it. Dang gummit, Bobby. Dang it, Bobby. Where the hell? What the? What's going on here? What the is they doing? I want to eat my pizza, please. I don't think I closed it down, but whatever. We're gonna just go ahead and mosey on out of there. Hey. I'm gonna say hi to somebody real fast. I'm gonna give a shout out to somebody real fast. All right, but let's update my stream first. Focus, TV. Focus. You got the focus. You got the focus. Oh, why am I doing that? I can do it easier this way. Yeah, let's do it easy way. Easy way, baby. All right, let me get my cell phone camera here. What is going on, y'all? We are here. I had to give all my streams up. All right, cool. We are here. It is Sunday once again. We are back from break, and we are going to play some games, but we're also going to chill a little bit and watch some other stuff first because a lot of it's Evo is happening right now, right? But I got to take a quick second to stop by our friend's stream, say hi real fast, show some love, and then I got to dip out of there. So let me see if I can pull him up on stream real fast. I'm sorry for this.
Really upfront on what the measurement process is going to entail. Want to try wearing one? I find that the vests, because they make corset vests for women too. It's just men's corsets standard are usually vests. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're just the waist. I think I got one of those coming in. That's more manly, but most of them are vests. But I find with the vest corsets, it gives you better posture because you've got something coming over your shoulders that is attached to still bones. So it kind of reminds you to like sit up a little bit. I don't know. It's not perfect. You can still slouch in it, but I find it's a good reminder.
How do I do that? I don't want bits. I don't want to use bits. I don't know if I'm going to notice or not. I'm going to dip out here in just a second and go back to my other videos, but I just wanted to show some love. So this person right here, I actually worked with them. They were technically my boss for a little bit, even though they were young. I think they're younger than me.
Hello, philosopher. How you doing?
Yeah.
See you.
We worked at GameStop together. Hold on, I gotta clip that. Hold on.
The vest corsets are like corsets in general are really good about like at least supporting your abdomen.
Okay.
Waist, hips to waist is where most corsets sit. So it's kind of a good reminder, at least, that like, hey, you're wearing something
Okay, let me
that's
pause
going
that.
to make.
Oh, how did she get the closed captions on in real time like that? How did she do that? Did I clip it? Did I clip it in time? Content, clips. Wait, what? I had to go back and grab that. I want to grab that before I forget. This can't be right. Oh, clips I've created. Oh, okay. What in tarnation is this? Y'all, I don't know what I'm doing. Pause for a little bit, even though they were young. I think they're younger than me.
Hello, philosopher. How you doing?
Yeah, okay, I got it. I did get it. Yeah. We were at the GameStop together. Hold on, I gotta clip that. Hold on.
The vest corsets are like corsets
Wait.
in general are really
Pause. Okay, now how do I trim this real fast? I was gonna do this real fast. I want to send it to them. Wait, how did I do that?
Philosopher, how you
Younger than me. This one right here, I actually worked with them. They were technically my boss for a little bit, even though they were young. I think they're younger than me.
Hello, philosopher. How you doing?
Yeah. We were at the GameStop together. Hold on, I gotta clip that. Hold on. No, why'd it go away? That person right here, I gotta clip that. Hold on. Person right here, I actually worked with them. Okay, yeah, technically my boss for a little bit, even though they were young. I think they're younger than me.
Hello, philosopher. How you doing?
Yeah. We were. Now I gotta go back to their chat and send them this real fast because this is funny. How do I share this? They were all right.
Acrylic boning. Hold on, I've got an example. Let me see.
Am I spelling happened wrong? Happened.
This corset, it's a waspy, so it's not even like a full corset. But this is acrylic boning. Like there is no structure there, right? There's no structure. So if I put this on, like it's just for fun, right?
How do I DM this person? Okay, I feel like I'm watching something I shouldn't be watching. Hold on. All right, let me pause that. How do I DM this to them? I don't know how to DM. Who knows how to DM people on Twitch? Is that a thing? How do I DM on Twitch? Who knows how to DM? Oh, wait. Ah, I got it. They were technically my boss. I think this is it. I think they're younger than me.
Hello, philosopher. How you doing?
Yeah. We were at the GameStop together. Okay. All right. Let's get back into what I was doing now. I think we've gotten that done. We've achieved my goal. Oh, but Evo is happening. Fatal Fury. I might watch some of that. I'm gonna tune in. I got a bunch of windows open here. I want to watch a couple of trailers and eat some pizza and some snacks real quick. So we got the Tekken 8 Bob trailer reveal here. If you guys don't know, I'm a big fighting game guy. I used to be this stream used to be for fighting games exclusively. Well, yeah, on the Twitch. But either way, Let's watch this. Oh man, I wish I could find the clip of me. Because I said that if they're gonna put Bob in the game, it needs to be Fat Bob, even though I don't like Bob. It needs to be Fat Bob. Hold on, we can make this bigger. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wait, chat, you need to see this too. Hold on. Bob Onigiri.
Hunger's the root cause of conflict. Join me, and we'll feed the world. Okay.
What?
Get ready for the next battle.
Speed and weight.
New challenger!
The hero has arrived.
Bob!
I can't believe they did it. Low crud.
Cheap shots just don't work on my perfect body.
Armor?
Impact.
We got armor.
Here I come.
No flavor?
Oh, he's got a parry.
Let me go.
Let me cook. I think that's what it says on his shirt.
Hey, sense. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. You know why I love eating onigiri? Kudarana. Onigiri also means to slay devils.
Yeah, what's his rage art? What's his rage system? His heat system.
Let's go.
There we go. Damn.
Big speed. Flat foot. Shove. Eat your calories out. Burn my fat. Roar my fists. Feel the power. You'll need to spend the rest of your life paying for all your sins.
Brother, how is God gonna be eating food like that in the middle of the job? How are you gonna be eating food while he's working? If you didn't catch the joke, it's because I'm eating pizza while I'm streaming. Never mind. This ain't a job. Costume too?
The hero has arrived.
Oh. I forgot Yujiro's in this. Holy crap. I wonder how good Yujiro's gonna look. 3D modeling that character, unless they have access to the 3D model they used over in Grappler Baki.
No, sugar.
Evo France, October 11th. Damn.
Let's go!
Oh, shit. This was the trailer I was gonna watch anyway, isn't it? Oh, it's literally the trailer that I have pulled up already. God damn, I got flashbang twice. Oh, so he's watching this video right here though. I pulled up the original trailer. I like Maximilian. I don't think I need to watch his trailer. I think we can hang out on our own and figure out what we can figure out. I got my Wilder. But this is Virtual Fighter. They have a new fighting game coming out called Crossroads. That's why we're watching it. That's why we're watching it. I think I've seen part of this before already. Jackie. I can't wait to play. I'll probably play Jackie. Just because he goes, yeah. I also want to say, I like this trailer so far because they're doing something that Street Fighter, I think, failed at. And that is passing on the torch to the new characters of the main storyline, or the poster boys of the game, poster children of the game. This gives me Miles Morales vibes, like both the Sony cartoon specifically vibes. And it also gives me the passing on the torch and paying homage to the people who are there and still having them be there, right? Like they are clearly inspiring him through this graffiti on the wall, or this art on the wall. I think that's really cool. Oh, and the music. Man, where's Tech at? I need to talk to him about the film terminology. That shit looks like a UFC poster. That's crazy. That's crazy. The VFF, that looks like UFC artwork, but instead of the red, I think they use, or like the blue, yellow. Ooh, fire.
Yeah. Rise and grind, yeah, I gotta get this paper. Gramps and the fam depend on me to get this cake up. Raised from a master chef and a baker.
Hold on, the music is kind of going along with the fighting, and I like this.
13 reasons I'm a win and a baker.
Damn, 13 reasons.
Turn into Undertaker. Back against the ropes, turn into Undertaker. Surrounded by the real.
Ooh, this is giving me Def Jam, Fight for New York type stuff, right? I'm using that as an example because it's like this underground fighting that's happening right now, and the progression of the storyline and the motivation of the character, like they're throwing all of that into it and really getting you invested in the character and his backstory and like the world that he lives in, the community that he lives in. I really, really like that. Even if he's not the main character, he's just, or he's one of the main characters. It makes, there is an excitement and anticipation about the possibility that I, as the player, may be able to experience the campaign in this fashion where it feels almost more like Shenmue, right? I think people have talked about Shenmue before as well, because Shenmue in some ways is the framework for what Virtua Fighter became. I want to say they use the old engine. The same engine was used on both of those games, right? And Shenmue really blended the combat of something like Virtua Fighter with a more simplistic Virtua Fighter. It really was a robust fighting game. Honestly, it was really cool. They knew it was cool. That's why they gave the marathon mode where you could like fight multiple people, but it's rewarding because of how you progressed and how you learned new abilities and skills and leveled them up, right? That's probably not related to this really, but I do like this progression of the story so far that they've introduced us to. I think it's only a 2-minute trailer, and I want more, even though it's not over yet.
I never been a faker. Nah, I never been a faker. No vine a buscar suerte, vine a hacer la historia. Cada golpe que aguanté es parte de mi gloria. De la esquina para el mundo.
That's Pi. That's not Lionheart. The wrestler. I'm not sure who that is. This is so Shenmue. Who is that, Leon? Wait.
I'll always. Ain't no cancer here.
That was a great trailer. Now, what am I looking at here? This is... Oh, this was the trailer that... Oh, so there's more trailers. Oh. And these are the same people who do Ryuga Gokata... Something like that. They do the Yakuza series as well.
You guys hear
in
the
that
news?
other game.
The Bakunawa killer took out another fighter last night.
Bakunawa killer.
Yeah, but catch this. The guy wasn't even in the tournament. Who is that guy? Why were you chasing him the other day?
How is this possible?
Huh? Oh shit. So this is the villain of the game? Or one of them? Oh damn! Lon D? Is this Lon D? Wait. This feels very Lon D. from Shinju. Nah, very unlikely. Very unlikely. But it was giving me vibes of Shenmue. I'm gonna finish my snack and then we can get to gaming. Watch a little Evo here.
Basically only fighting games for my whole life.
The pro player here.
When I was 8, I would play God or Mark of the Wolves with my brother. I really liked the game, so as soon as Fatal Fury was about to come out, I knew it was a game that I had to try out. It had so many mechanics that were a perfect.
He looks older.
The King of Fighters and Street Fighter that I felt like I had an advantage over many of the other players, and
I want to see what.
It's been that way. I never
Cool.
imagined that I would ever receive compensation or invitations or sponsorships to play. But then when Fatal Fury came out, I did sort of well in a few beta tournaments. And thankfully my team Vitality looked at me and I've been having their support for a while now. It's really nice that Evo releases these.
Vitality sponsors fighting game players?
You have the setup you always practice on with no distractions. Probably one of the best opportunities to perform well and qualify. I play Gato. Some people tell me they look at my Gato and they feel like the character flies. And to be honest, that's the way I feel. I feel it's limitless when I'm playing with Gato. I can just think of something and then do it in the game.
Interesting.
Being able to replicate
Gato.
what you always practice on any stage is the best way to do it. To forget about anything that is not the game, completely trust the skills that I've developed, and just go ahead and let it play out.
He knows what he's talking about. This guy's lived.
It will just be a miracle and a dream come true.
Okay, he's won my my bet. Not my bet. I don't bet. He won my.
At the Airheads Air Cam,
What?
Airheads is bringing fun to Las Vegas.
Vote? Yeah, vote.
Look how many
Tekken's happening in the background there. Look at this venue.
and this was all filled with
Casuals.
competitors. Over 10,000 competitors were just playing tournaments throughout the whole entire
And tournaments.
at Evo.
That's a lot of setups for tournaments, and then I'm thinking I want to play casuals.
Camper, bringing this amazing view right here, man. We was in there.
We was in there inside the aura.
Yeah, we was in there. You felt the heat.
Is that Justin Wong?
aura,
Oh, it is.
You felt the upsets, the matches, and everything
Shaq.
like that.
And that's Hell Pockets. I knew his name. Damn, I didn't want to pop up.
Final 8, final day.
And we just got through with the winner's side, right?
I forgot Justin Wong does like SNK games too.
The bloodbath, as it were. Winner goes on, loser goes
Why is everyone wearing the Jarvis glasses nowadays? What's going on here? I just saw St. Cola with them the other day. Are they passing around Jarvis glasses somewhere?
you later.
Backs up against the wall, brother.
See you next year.
Next year.
See you at Evo France, right?
Well, we can't discount what goes on beyond this because the year is not over. For you yet,
That's
right?
true.
Because all these guys have officially qualified for EWC, so they hitting up the airplane like in a week. You know, they're going to be up in the air. So they've got like another fish to fry.
Right, and also, I mean, SWC had the announcements, right? November 27th to 29th at
Sweden,
DreamHack.
bro.
Insane. It's just coming right around the corner.
Right around the corner, and like honestly, dude, I can't wait to see how that shakes out because we had the DreamHack, the SWC last year finals. Amazing stuff.
Amazing stuff. But you know what's going to be amazing? This victory path presented by White Claw Surge from Mr. Danny El Maza.
Not very good. Adachi Kuz, Jawa, Mad KOF dropped the game to K-Top. 2-1 over H-Dope. Man, he had the double impact, bro.
Oh, my God. Not the double impact.
I like this game.
That's a run right there in itself.
Do you think it's like kind of like a revenge? He's like, he lost the K-Top, but hey, I beat the other brother.
Yeah, it kind of is, you know. It kind of is, and he might get a chance to get another shot at K-Top depending on how that goes.
And you know, you could see if you go to losers early, you've had to go through a lot of matches. He went through more matches, man. Danny El Maza, and this is also a run back from the grand finals, right?
A very storied grand finals from Vegas Climax just a couple of months ago up against ZJZ.
Yes, right here. And I'm going to look at ZJZ. Victory path.
ZJZ.
White Claw Surge.
We got Vexing Shade. We got Groovy. We got Urez. We got Gumi. Oh, man, that had to be a war. Kubo.
I feel like Justin's being funny when he says White Claw Surge.
Lost to K-Top, and then seeing Tifikov, he won 2-0.
I think that's the only way to like.
It's also a big run right there. I mean,
not be weird about it.
ZJZ, you know, he used to.
Oddly enough,
using a lot of Preacher, but we saw him in the back.
Preacher
with the Tengu mask man himself,
Mr. Karate.
And you know, I mean, ZJZ is one of those players that he plays King of Fighters 15 and a lot of SNK games.
Hey, I got a bottle just like that right now.
Yeah, he's going to go where the winds blow, exactly. Yeah. And then not just that, though. He's not going to get carried by them. He's definitely going to pilot those characters expertly, but he does switch up quite a bit.
Yeah.
That being said, he does have a Preacher, he does have a Gato, and a Mr. Karate.
Gato.
And let's check out the Evo Fantasy presented by AT&T. Huge thanks to AT&T for helping us bring Evo Fantasy. You can follow along at upsets.gg/Evo2026. Danny El Maza has an 82.5% pick rate to win, while ZJZ only has a 17.5% pick rate to win. How do you feel about that?
Oh, man. So I called that match. I called that grand final.
Okay.
And even with the confusion, a lot of people would argue that was ZJZ's game to win. And you can say what you want about what happened between the controversy and whatnot. He was looking real good towards the end there, but Daniel Maza, just too much.
Too much. Oh, he started with the hey, because he thought that stick was coming.
Back off, brother.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, I love the fact that because he's assuming that standing C is going to come from a mile away.
I mean, most Billies are going to try to pressure you from that distance, especially around start.
Billy Kane. He looks pretty cool, actually. I hated the old Billy Kane's design. I didn't know that was Billy. Is he a DLC character? Damn. Damn.
Look how much he cools off there.
And he gets the restand, the reset, the more pressure to
cool. Hey, must be a parry. Or a counter. Whoa.
Anyway, gonna push out to the corner, probably gonna end up with a hard knockdown mid-screen. No, it's gonna get back up.
I think he wants the Oki instead. Maybe next hit he's gonna spend the bar for the kill. Man, go for the parry, gets the combo. How much will we spend in here?
I say get a hard knockdown here somehow, right? Yeah.
Okay. And we're about to build another meter, but we're not gonna get it if we get the next hit. But Daniel Maza,
why use that the move? Is that faster than dashing?
Spend it, baby.
Oh, that's dead. I don't know much about the combo damage in this game, but
yeah, I want to say that
should be dead.
Probably not what he wanted there.
Yeah, probably, right? Because sometimes the proximity just changed up a little bit, right? You probably wanted close C to kind of like hit him from the air while he's jumping, but he got the far C instead.
Super slow.
SPG emergency.
Oh, again, the crowd C, but no confirm.
I know it's SPD. Shut up.
Got to confirm in the knockdown, getting in there. Like the standing C feints, all the feints right there. Another one.
And there's the first high dodge from Billy, man. We're going to see a lot of that.
Especially in neutral.
Whoa.
Nice block. That looked ambiguous. Looked like it was
right, that's what I was saying.
Caught him on the jump, on the upward.
I'm happy I'm on the same page as Justin Long. I feel good.
Delay high dodge as well, too.
My comprehension of fighting games is okay.
Draco Supremo, Danny blocks, backs off, and there.
Damn! Is that a hit confirm from that range?
Okay, so we spend level 1 here. I think so. No, drops the last second hit.
Oh, I want to reset.
Did he, or did he reset?
Hold on a second. What a
Oh no! What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? I don't know who's who, but come on, man.
Got the opportunity.
Oh, what? Oh, okay, hold on. I gotta turn this off. I gotta turn this off. Hold on. Evo's gonna get all salty at me. I'm not allowed to co-stream this. How'd you even? Oh, well, I'm live on Twitch. That's probably how they know. Oh man. Okay, I don't want to get in trouble, so I can't keep watching that. I'm sorry, Evo. I love you guys, but can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it, Captain. Wait, what? That's not the avatar I thought it was. Okay. I'm gonna look for any more trailers real quick. Wait. This is fake. This is not an actual trailer or anything. Yeah, fan-made project. Okay, so he puts it right in the beginning. Good, thank you very much. Oh, what is this? Oh no. Nah, we're not doing that. What the hell is that? Yeah, I don't know if there's any other good trailers. I'm pretty much done with my snacks. Oh, how long? 41 minutes for the grand finals? Is this AI? The picture is AI, but is the music AI? Dunk and Rim? Did it? I think those were in-game things. I can't do that. Aeronage made a video? Since when? Aeronage plays DOA? I'm concerned. I didn't know he even played DOA. I actually don't know what Aeronage even looks like. There's no way this guy is that young. What is this? Oh, that's Looper. Okay, never mind. Damn. I'm not gonna say what I was thinking. I want to just watch Evo, but no, I gotta get permission, whatever. I respect their hustle. I don't see any other announcements or anything like that. I just see a bunch of trailers, which is, I mean, I see a bunch of other and unrelated stuff. I see my own stream. Hey, that's me. That's me right there. I don't know why it says I'm playing Baldur's Gate right now. God dang. That's probably why people are confused and didn't hop in. I think I'll restart that stream or just close it out, actually.